Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are tackling the playroom. You can see here, this is where we're starting, and it is very clearly just kind of a makeshift room at the moment. You can tell that it, definitely was a bedroom, not necessarily a playroom. So in this video, you will see us take all of this down, clean it all out, give it a fresh coat of paint, and just make it bright and fun and more of a room where the girls can kind of play and grow and have a space that's just for them, versus having to split everything into two bedrooms. So we spent the evening getting everything prepped and ready for paint. We're painting this whole room bright white. That's what we did in the nursery, and I just love how bright and clean it is. I've kind of had a thing for bright white walls before it was popular. People used to think I was a lunatic for painting all my walls white, but here we are. This is my least favorite part. We thought, because we had a new spray painter that we used to paint the outside of our house, that it would make this job super fast and quick and not have to roll everything out. We were wrong. If you are going to spray a small space, I would recommend doing it where you have adequate access to opening windows and doors, because we had to close this off and it just didn't work out very well. So we ended up having to go back over it with a roller because we had a lot of drips. I mean, it was a cloud of paint. It wasn't good, but we did it. It's done. Went to bed, woke up the next morning, and now we have a fresh, bright white, ready to go playroom. So after getting everything kind of cleaned back up, all the prep work out of the way, we started working on the wall treatments, getting things up and decorated. Scott actually had to build us bigger bookshelves. My vision was that we would have just like walls of books, because we have a ton of books and we're running out of space for them. She had two smaller bookshelves at the beginning, which worked really nicely for us. I really liked having that system. I just wanted something that was going to give us more space for more books. And I also really liked the way this turned out, because it kind of was like functional decoration, which when you have kids, especially toddlers, functional decor is where it's at. Like you have to make things work for you and the way you live and your family. Everything's not always going to look like a picture book. It's not always going to look like the beautiful things you see on Pinterest and in magazines. So for us, this was a really cool way to get some color on the walls, but also make it work for what we needed, which was to store all the books that we read on a regular basis. Honestly, I'm so glad that I have such a handy husband who's able to build these things, even when he doesn't. So I highly recommend, if you're going to build these, which I'll leave you some instructions in my description box, super, super easy to build, but do go pick out your own wood, because if you do what we did and try to make it convenient and do an order, you're probably going to get some pieces that aren't, so smooth, aren't so perfect, and that's kind of what we were going back and forth about. Those front pieces are going to have to come off and be replaced, just because they are a little jagged and not smooth, not as pretty. They're fine. They'll work for now. That'll be a project for another day. So just kind of putting books back on the shelf. I originally was going to do them in the rainbow aesthetic, because I really love the way that looks, and it makes it easy for kids to be able to pick out what they want and replace, because they, based on color, it just makes it easier. But I ultimately decided, since my toddler likes to get up there and pick her books, and she also does not care about any type of aesthetic, that I was just going to do it based on the books that we read the most. We're going to be up front. Like this llama book, this is the third copy of this book we have, because we have read it so much, they get torn up and we have to replace it. I also love that almost all of our books have been gifted. When we had our baby showers, and even for birthdays now, we ask that people give books instead of cards. because then they can write their little messages, and as we read and go through things, like, we will have those little notes, and the girls will eventually be able to read those on their own, but for now, like, I can read it to them. And for me personally, I just really love that little personal touch to almost every book that we've got. So if you are having babies and you've got baby showers coming up, if you haven't already heard of that, I'm sure you have, because it's pretty common now. I definitely recommend it. So I spent a lot of time looking at how I wanted this room to look, and the way that I envisioned it in my head and the way it actually turned out didn't match, and that's okay. Ultimately, I had, this Pinterest style playroom with just all the bright colors and the beauty and the just, you know what I'm talking about, the Pinterest playroom. But ultimately, I just decided that was not realistic for our family and not realistic for a room that a 3-year-old is going to basically terrorize every day. So I ended up using a lot of stuff that I already had and love. Like, I don't want to take down these handprints that we made at the very beginning of the pandemic. I don't want to take down these rainbows that we made to make ourselves feel better when we couldn't go see any of our family. Those things mean a lot to me and to us as, a family, and I just felt like, why not reuse those if I can? So the only things that I did buy to update this room are this rainbow light, which I almost didn't get, but it was on clearance and I love it. I am so glad that I opted to get it, because I literally put it back on the shelf probably 3 times before I was like, Heather, just buy the light, get out of here. So got it up, love it. It turned out perfect in this space. I also ended up getting some prints done. I just had purchased digital prints on Etsy. So we're setting these up now. I initially was going to get frames from IKEA. It was my whole reason for doing this, is it was going to be a very cheap way to make a big impact with a lot of color, and I really wanted some words of affirmation. I have 2 girls. I want them to never look anywhere in their lives and not see support and praise and pride, and so that was what I wanted for this wall. So I got the cutest words of affirmation prints from Etsy, and I ended up finding these frames at Target because IKEA was out. They did not have the frames that I wanted. They were not available to ship to my home. So that was kind of a bummer, but there's always a plan B, a plan C, plan D. We'll always get it figured out. So these are from Target, and they were only $15, which is pretty cheap for a 16 by 20 frame. I'll link them in the description box for you, just in case you ever want to get some frames for posters. I also got the prints printed at Walgreens as photo prints with a Walgreens coupon instead of doing poster prints, and that saved me probably $130. Not affiliated with Walgreens, not an ad, but shout out to Walgreens for always having the best coupon codes. I can't get over every time I need to print something, I always check there first, and they always beat everybody else on price. So if you need something printed, especially something large, be sure to check out Walgreens Photo. this is my first time using the painter's tape, hang up your pictures method. I've seen people use it. I've seen it on blogs, how it makes things easier. I have always just eyeballed my pictures, like to the point that my husband will get out a level or a measuring tape, and my eyes work better. I mean, if you're out there and your eyes work better than a ruler or anything else, let me know in the comments, because everyone thinks I'm crazy. But 9 times out of 10, if my husband uses a level or a measuring tape or even this stupid tape method, it doesn't work. They're not straight. And I know that we live in an old house and everything is wonky. I don't think there's a single thing in this entire house that is actually square, which is probably why his level doesn't work and the measuring tape doesn't work and this tape system didn't work. It's probably my house. That's neither here nor there. The point is, are you an eyeballer or do you measure out where you're going to hang your pictures? Let me know in the comments which works best for you. So I did it. I tried it. Didn't work. We're done with it. So despite the tape system not working and a few extra holes in my walls, we got everything hung up. Everything is where it needs to be. So just a reminder, this is where we started. I will say I still love my gray walls, but in person, the white is so much brighter. The room looks so much bigger. Let me know what y'all think, before or after. Which one do you like better? We're not changing it back, but just let me know. Did you like the gray or do you like the white? I love how this turned out. It is the perfect space for my girls to play and grow and be reminded that they are loved, they are smart, they are strong, they're unique, they're kind, they're awesome. And if no one's told you that today, you are as well. So please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you want to join us on these little room makeovers, clean with me's. I'm going to have obviously holiday stuff. We're just trying to find our little corner of the internet of people who, like us, just want to make things pretty and make houses homes. So let me know what you thought. Let me know if there's anything you want to see in the future. Thank you for joining me this week for this room makeover. We had so much fun. Our girls love it. We love it. And we loved having you here. Have a great day. Bye, guys.